Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series Galaxy action figure. This action figure is from those recent assortment of Jazwares figures. There are 4 new figures in this assortment. I got my figure from Amazon.com. It was a pre-order. It said it'd take about a week to get him. I got him about 3 days later. So let's go and check out the packaging here. So you can see at the top, Epic Games, Fortnite Legendary Series, ages 8+. Then in the package, here is the guy. He's sort of purple, got some stars on him. Don't call him Galaxy for nothing. He's got stars spinning around his head. He's got 3 different alternate faceplates. He's got a pickaxe, Tommy gun, hand cannon, back bling, and dynamite. At the bottom here, we've got a barcode in case anyone needs it, as well as a bunch of credits. One side, you can see Galaxy posed up. Other side, pretty similar. Then on the back, here's Galaxy in the center. And here are several other Fortnite figures. We've got Raven and Peely. They're from the previous assortment. And the assortment has Sentinel, Ruin, Beef Boss, and Galaxy. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a stick of dynamite, a drum gun or Tommy gun, a hand cannon or deagle. He's got 2 alternate faceplates totaling 3 different interchangeable faceplates. He's got a back bling called the Galactic Disc, and he's got a harvesting tool called the Stellar Axe. Now this skin here was originally available. Epic Games and Samsung had a partnership. When the Galaxy Note 9 came out, if you ordered between this date and this date, you get a choice between some free headphones or a bunch of V-Bucks and this skin. This skin is very nice, but it's not one I have, as I'm not a Samsung Android user. So let's go and check out the figure here. I think this guy looks great. Really cool looking. The effects with the star swirling around his face, very unique, very different, and honestly, in my opinion, kind of effective. Silver hair. He's got some transparent plastic on parts of him. Really liking his face. It's looking pretty cool. They took that same Fortnite body that's been used so many times and made it look totally different. You can see he's got glitter on him, a ton of different shades of purple. Really liking the way this came out. Kind of simulating a star system or galaxy. And here is the backside. Like I said, I am really enjoying this guy. Him and Ruin came out together, and this guy definitely is better, hands down. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. On the package, it said contains 8 pieces. They sure could have boasted 10 pieces, as shown here. Probably would have caused some confusion for some of the laymen that didn't understand. A couple of those pieces are attached to the body. But I find that Jazwares could definitely boast more in that department. So next, let's check out his accessories. So let's start off with his faces. He's got a total of 3 of them from left to right. It looks like the first one has a normal expression, the second one has a smiling expression, and the third one has what it looks like a surprised expression. Here's his first face. This is going to be my standard default face for him. Just a normal, regular looking expression. And here's his second face with a smiling expression. And then his third face has a surprised expression like, oh buddy, about to die to this rocket launcher. Next, let's check out the stars that float around his head. Nothing really special, some stars, swirly. It's got a peg here that'll insert in the back of his head, a peg hole, and it's fairly effective the way they executed this. And I think it works out pretty well. This is the first time that Jazwares, or even McFarlane for that matter, have tried a Fortnite accessory like this. Stars spinning around his head. They got the effect they were going for, that's for sure. Next, let's check out his back bling. This thing is called the Galactic Disc, and I wonder why. It's disc shaped, definitely swirly like a system. The effect is nice, it's textured, detail is good, all kind of different colors. has a peg on the back that connects into a peg hole on the figure's back. And here he is wearing his back bling. You sure can't tell from the front, but spin this guy around, and there it is. And here is his back bling next to all the other back blings that Jazwares has made for their Legendary Fortnite collection. And here are all the different back blings from both Jazwares on the top and McFarlane Toys on the bottom. Here are several different Jazwares figures wearing each other's back blings, showing you that the back blings are interchangeable between the Jazwares figures. Here is both a McFarlane figure and a Jazwares figure, and even though their back blings attach in a similar fashion with a peg that goes into a peg hole on their back, unfortunately they're not interchangeable between the two lines. If you were to take a McFarlane figure here and a Jazwares back bling, the peg is just too thick and won't fit in the hole no matter how hard you try. And in turn, take a Jazwares figure, a McFarlane back bling, it will go in, but the peg is so thin, it'll just fall right back out. Next, let's check out his harvesting tool, or more commonly referred to as a pickaxe. This here has the same effect as the figure. It's got the purple plastic, it's got some glitter representing stars all over it. This is definitely a re-release of a pre-existing pickaxe. And just like I suspected, this is the default pickaxe that came with Jonesy. Exact same mold as the one from Galaxy, just painted differently. And you know what? It works. Here he is holding his pickaxe. Here he is as he hears a noise behind this brick wall. Decides to chop his way through and find out what it is. Turned out there's a chest back there. And it looks like he found a drum gun, a med kit, and some dynamite in that chest. Here's his pickaxe next to all the other pickaxes Jazwares has released for their Fortnite Legendary Collection. Each pickaxe is interchangeable with each Jazwares figure. Here are all the different pickaxes released by both Jazwares and McFarlane, and I'm happy to say they are interchangeable between both lines. Here are several Jazwares figures holding each other's pickaxes, showing you they are interchangeable between each Jazwares figure. And here are a couple of Jazwares figures holding some McFarlane pickaxes, and a couple of McFarlane figures holding Jazwares pickaxes, showing you they are interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out both of his guns. On the top here is a drum gun, or more commonly referred to as a Tommy gun outside of Fortnite. This is the first time we've received a drum gun from Jazwares. And then below that, we've got a hand cannon or a deagle. And this is not the first time Jazwares has released a hand cannon. And then here's the Jazwares version of the drum gun on the right, compared with the McFarlane version on the left. And here's the Jazwares hand cannon on the right, next to the McFarlane hand cannon on the left. They are almost exactly the same size. Only real difference is the trigger area is connected on the McFarlane and not on the Jazwares. Here he is holding his drum gun with two hands, and then holding his hand cannon. And even though it's not game accurate, if you wanted him to hold both weapons at the same time, you can sure do this. And here are these weapons next to all the weapons Jazwares has made so far for their Fortnite Legendary Collection. And here are all the different guns released by both Jazwares and McFarlane Toys, not including the guns that both companies have made. And here are several different Jazwares figures holding each other's guns, showing you the guns are interchangeable between each Jazwares figure. And here are a couple of Jazwares figures holding some McFarlane guns, and a couple of McFarlane figures holding some Jazwares guns, showing you the guns are interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out his dynamite. There are 3 sticks here wrapped together, and they've got the fuse on the top there. And here he is holding his stick of dynamite, getting ready to throw them. Now this is not the first figure to come with dynamite. He's at least the 3rd Jazwares figure. And you know what? I'm okay with that, as I can find tons of different uses for dynamite in my action figure world. And here are all the different explosive or throwable type of items that Jazwares has made so far. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories, next let's check out some other Fortnite accessories and vehicles you can use to enhance your Jazwares collection. Here's Galaxy riding on the back of the McFarlane Quad Crasher. And here he is driving the Quad Crasher. And here he is getting pushed around in the McFarlane shopping cart. And then here, doing the pushing. Here he is next to the McFarlane glider and launchpad combo set. Here's how he scales up next to it, fully assembled. Here he is, getting ready to launch off and glide away. And here he is on the rooftop of the building, using the glider. He's able to hold on and scale up with the McFarlane glider very nicely. Definitely delicate to give him to hold on with his articulated fingers, but it can be done. And here he is riding the Frostwing Dragon, in case you're curious if that would work as well. Sure does. And let's check out a couple more accessories I like to use that aren't specifically intended for the Legendary collection. Here he is next to a treasure chest. This treasure chest is actually from Jazwares also, and it is intended for their smaller 4-inch line. This thing is too large for the 6-inch line. It definitely wasn't intended to be in scale with the 4-inch figures. It was an accessory pack, came with a bunch of building material and a few weapons on the inside. Since treasure chests are such a huge part of the game, I'm happy to have one. It's at least remotely in scale with these figures. Here he is, opening up a llama. Obviously this llama is not from McFarlane or Jazwares, as it's simply a stuffed animal that I found at Walmart. But since llamas are so recognizable as part of the Fortnite game, I'm happy to have one, even though it's a little bit too large for the figures. Here he is, next to a campfire. This campfire came with a NECA Friday the 13th Jason action figure, and doubles up great for a Fortnite campfire. Here he is, holding a can of spray paint, getting ready to tag the wall behind him. Here are a whole bunch of healing and shield items that came with some other Jazwares figures you can use for this guy. And now that we've taken a very in-depth look at his accessories, as well as some other accessories you can use to enhance this figure, next let's check out the height of this guy. So from bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.0 inches, which will translate to about 15 centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So starting off with his head here, can rotate from side to side, can look down and up about that far, not too much there. Shoulders on a ball joint, then go up quite a bit more than 90 degrees, which is pretty nice. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint inside of here. See a bit of material between his shoulder and chest. Allows his arms to go in and out a little bit more. He's got a bicep cut below that. He's got double jointed elbows below that, then go all the way in. His wrist here can rotate around. It's also hinged. And then he has finger articulation on top of that. In his chest here, he's got a ball joint, can rotate from side to side, and then it can also go forward and back quite a bit. He's got a traditional waist swivel below that. His legs go out a full 90 degrees. There's a ball joint inside of there. Legs go forward about that far and back, really not very much. He's got a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees. He's got a boot cut. His feet can go back, then go forward. They can rock, and he has toe articulation. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures, starting off with some other Fortnite figures. Here he is with the rest of this wave of Jazwares figures. We've got Beef Boss, Sentinel, Galaxy, and Ruin. Here he is next to the entire Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Collection. And we know what the next 5 releases are going to be. That's P1000, Fish Stick, Doggo, Ghoul Trooper, and Battlehound. And here he is next to the entire McFarlane Fortnite collection. And here are all the Fortnite figures that I've bought multiples of. You may ask yourself, why so many? I got all 4 different heads or faces of the wild cards so I could have a Royal Flush Gang in my DC action figure world. I got 4 of each of the Skull Troopers to use as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman action figure world. I got 2 Crack Shots to use as Toyman henchmen in my DC action figure world, and 4 Rabbit Raiders and 4 Night Hares to use as Mad Hatter henchmen in my Batman figure world. And here's this guy in a huge battle royale with all of my different Fortnite figures. You can see they're in here shooting each other, driving, sniping, healing, gliding, getting loot, just shooting each other in shopping carts, vehicles, having a huge war, trying to see who can get the most kills, and more importantly, who can get the win. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. I'm doing these comparisons starting with some of the larger lines and working my way smaller, so he definitely won't fit in with the first several comparisons. Here he is next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. And here he is with some McFarlane Toys action figures. Here he is with some NECA figures. And here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And then next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is next to some Mafex figures. And here next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. These guys fit in pretty decent with the Marvel Legends and Figure Arts, but the other stuff is a little bit too tall for them. So overall, this is a pretty nice figure. There's a lot of things I like about him. I like his color scheme, the different shades of purple. I like his glittery or sparkling effects. I like the stars floating around his head. I think they executed that as best they possibly could. There is a lot of reuse on this guy from previous Fortnite Jazwares figures, but it works pretty good. This guy's not perfect, but he is very visually pleasing. I've always been intrigued by the skin of the game. It is definitely noticeable. If I were to rate this figure, I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10. I'm definitely enjoying him. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.